You're in a room with the king. You're his most trusted advisor. You've given him brilliant strategies, won wars for his kingdom, and even helped increase his wealth. But one day, during a grand feast, you made a mistake. One you didn't even realize. You tell a joke. A harmless one. The entire court just bursts out in laughter. But the king, he doesn't laugh at all. He just stares at you, and his expression is kind of unreadable. The energy in the room shifts, and you can feel it, even if nobody says a word. The next morning, you wake up to guards at your door. You're stripped of your title, your wealth, and your freedom. But what about the crime? Making the king feel small. Now, this might sound something like out of the Game of Thrones, but here's the truth. This kind of stuff happens every day. In boardrooms, friendships, social media, anywhere where power exists. Because if there's one thing you need to understand about human nature, it's this. People don't always reward brilliance. If anything, they fear it. And if you don't recognize this fast enough, this could cost you everything. The first law of the 48 Laws of Power states, never outshine the master. But why? Isn't ambition a good thing? Doesn't society want talented, intelligent, driven people? Well, yeah, until that talent threatens somebody above you. Let's take a look at Nicolas Fouquet, a man who had everything: intelligence, power, wealth. He was the finance minister of France in the 1600s, and he helped the country prosper. And when King Louis XIV took the throne, Fouquet wanted to show his loyalty. So he did something impressive, something spectacular. He threw a lavish party in honor of the king. This wasn't just any party. This was the event of the century. Fireworks, music, extravagant food, crazy performances. It was a masterpiece of luxury and power. And that was his mistake, because instead of impressing the king, he terrified him. King Louis over here looking around and thinking, if this is what my finance minister can afford, what does that say about his power compared to mine? Shortly after, Fouquet was arrested. The king accused him of embezzlement and locked him away in prison for life. The real crime? He made the king feel replaceable. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not in 17th century France anymore. I don't work for a king. But this isn't just about royalty. It happens every day in life. You're in a meeting and you propose a brilliant idea. The boss nods, but later, you notice he's cold towards you. You help a friend start their business. And as soon as they gain traction, they stop responding to your texts. You work under a mentor. And the moment your skills match theirs, they stop supporting you. Why? Because power isn't just about what you do. It's about how people perceive themselves around you. If your success makes someone else feel weaker, they will resent you, even if they never say it out loud. Psychologists call this status anxiety, the fear that someone is rising too fast, the fear that someone is becoming obsolete. And the worst part, the more powerful someone is, the more fragile their ego tends to be. At its core, this isn't just about politics or business. This is about human nature. Power isn't just having influence, it's feeling irreplaceable. When someone in power feels like they're losing control, their first instinct isn't to congratulate you, it's to eliminate the threat. And again, this doesn't just happen in high positions. This happens in relationships, friendships, and even families. A father who becomes distant when his son starts making more money than him. A friend who suddenly starts gossiping about you when you gain popularity. A boss who fires an employee simply because they were too good. This isn't logic, it's emotion, and it's fear. And if you don't see it coming, you'll never understand why people turn against you. How do you rise without making enemies? How do you succeed without triggering someone else's insecurity? Here's how. Make your victories their victories. If you have a great idea at work, don't just present it. Frame it as building upon your boss's vision. Let them feel like they played a part in it. Never appear too perfect. People trust those who have a little bit of flaws. If you're too polished, too talented, too effortless, you'll make others around you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Let them see you struggle sometimes. Praise strategically. Compliment your superiors in a way that reinforces their authority. Not fake flattery, genuine recognition that makes them feel secure rather than threatened. Understanding timing. There are moments to shine and there are moments to dim your light a little bit. If someone above you is feeling vulnerable, it's not your time to showcase how much better you are. Master the art of subtle power. The most powerful people don't always look powerful. They let others believe they're in control while silently pulling the strings. Let's go back to the advisor in the throne room, the one who made the king jealous. What if he had done things differently? What if, instead of taking the credit, he subtly made the king feel like the genius? What if he let the king believe it was his brilliance, not the advisor's, that led to victory? He wouldn't have been exiled. He would have been indispensable. Power isn't just about being the best. It's about knowing when to step forward and when to take a step back. So, before you show your full potential, let me ask you something. Is the person above you secure enough to handle it? If not, step carefully, because history is full of people who were too bright for their own good. And the brightest flames, they don't always burn the longest.